Chinese habitation on the north bank of the Spangu Lake is part of an ongoing effort to build infrastructure that could support the People's Liberation Army's ability to rapidly launch military operations across the line of actual control, is what General D.S. Huda, the former Northern Army commander, has to say. Another quote, seen in conjunction with similar infrastructure on the north bank of the Pangong Tso, it is clearly an endeavor to enhance the border area logistics infrastructure for the PLA, says General Satish Dua, a former chief of India's Integrated Defence Staff. Now, the settlement described in this report is the newest Chinese habitation in the region, which has seen extensive construction activity a short distance away. This includes the construction and operationalization of a Chinese bridge across the Pangong Lake. This is the north bank of Pangong. This is the south bank of Pangong. NDTV brought our viewers this picture, which actually had images of vehicles crossing this particular bridge. So they've built this narrowly on their side of the line of actual control. But again, it's an indicator of the infrastructure build-up which they've done. And finally, another settlement which military sources have described as being unlike any other site that they have seen in the area is in fact this one. So this lies to the east of that bridge across the Pangong Lake, which I showed you. It is northeast of the new site or the new settlement which we've identified in this report. So China is building up in this area in areas where they have not built up in the past. So they're changing facts on the ground, even if it is on their own territory. The idea is to put pressure on the line of actual control. Now, what is India doing in all of this? We've got our own plan. It's called the Vibrant Villages Plan. There have been thousands of crores which have been put into this. But I think as these images indicate, China's infrastructure build up in areas which are contested is a matter of huge concern, despite the fact that there are talks now to perhaps get into a more lasting peace or some sort of regularization of the relationship between Beijing and Washington. So we've played out that reaction as well from the Indian Army. We're going to take a short break at this stage and come back with the very latest. Stay tuned.
Fenesta Windows, beautiful and durable designs. इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस. आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए.
Fine, finer Fenesta.
Ladies and gentlemen, NDTV's prestigious Auto Awards 2025. They're here.
Congratulations to those who are being honored, recognized.
Vikram Pava, Rahul Bharti, Maruti Suzuki, the Global Lifetime Achievement Award to Sri Ratan Tata.
Motorcycle of the Year.
Compact Car of the Year.
Very, very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit Conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
American president talks about making America great again, and when Prime Minister Modi talks about Viksit Bharat, in a way is talking about making India great again.
India needs to diversify its sources of capital.
Deployment of the grassroots level will be done by manufacturing.
You can't truly become a developed nation unless we take every segment of the society in our economic development journey. This is also another element of blueprint for Viksit Bharat.
The NDTV Profit Conclave 2025, the blueprint for Viksit Bharat, only on the NDTV network.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India.
Well, some good news to share. India in the finals of the Champions Trophy after defeating Australia by 4 wickets. India were led by a dominant 80-plus score by Virat Kohli, our old veteran. So India in the finals, thoroughly outplaying Australia with both the ball and the bat. So that's great news for Indian cricket. We'll be tracking that very closely at 10 p.m. But we're going to move on now to one of our big focus points on this program. An alarming new Lancet report warns India's obesity crisis is spiraling out of control. By 2050, nearly a third of the population, over 450 million adults, could be overweight or obese, driven by unhealthy diets and a boom in ultra-processed foods. Now, the study highlights a sharp rise since 1990 and urges a 5-year action plan to curb this epidemic as India grapples with a growing health burden threatening millions with chronic diseases. Joining us now, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, former Chief Scientist of the World Health Organization. Dr. Swaminathan, thanks very much for being with us. Now, what dietary shifts, such as the rise in ultra-processed food consumption, are essentially fueling India's projected obesity surge to 450 million adults by 2050? And do you believe that traditional eating patterns and habits, must be preserved?
Good evening, Vishnu, and thank you for that question. I think it's a really important one because the trend over the last couple of decades has been quite alarming in terms of the increase in the overweight and obesity rates, while at the same time we have to remember that India still suffers from a high burden of malnutrition, undernutrition, stunting in children under the age of 5, as well as a high burden of anemia. And all of this basically points just to one thing that's going wrong, and that is our diets. And the ICMR report, the dietary guidelines that they came out with in 2024, clearly showed that this shift to more processed food, less fresh fruits and vegetables, and very minimal dietary diversity. Basically, on our plate, we have mostly carbohydrates, high fat and high sugar products, as well as physical inactivity as sedentary lifestyles. These are all contributing to increasing obesity, and that in turn contributes, of course, to the rising non-communicable disease rates like diabetes, hypertension, and so on. The economic survey, interestingly, last year, even before this Lancet report came out, had identified growing obesity as one of the key factors that might impact India's economic progress, and had prioritized diet, healthy diets, and getting into shape as an important thing for India's demographic dividend to actually deliver.
Sure.
So I think coming to solutions, I think that we do have a few obviously very good options. You talked about traditional diet. Now we need to understand why this shift has happened over the last 40 years. One has been the fact that we've become increasingly dependent on two staples, rice and wheat. That's what farmers are growing. That's what has a minimum support price. That is what is procured by government. That is what is distributed through the PDS. And so a large part of people's diets and their calories are being met through rice and wheat. Generally, our diets are deficient in protein, especially high quality animal protein, as well as in micronutrients, which, the vitamins and minerals, they normally come from fruits and vegetables. And our diets are very, very low in fruits and vegetables. So I think it's the whole food system here that we have to talk about. The food environment, what farmers are growing, how it is procured, how it is stored or processed, how is it consumed, and whether healthy diets are actually affordable.
Sure.
So India has the largest social support network in terms of both the PDS and the midday meal scheme and the Anganwadi scheme, the ICDS. So if we were to make changes in these, to provide not just calories, but to ensure balanced nutrition through changes in these schemes, we could have a massive impact on the population. The other thing, of course, is behavior change and getting people to exercise more, be more physically active, and be conscious of what they're eating.
Well, I'm also joined by Dr. Nihar Parekh. He's a pediatrician and director of Cheers Childcare. Thanks very much for being with us. And Revant Hemat Sinka, a health influencer. Thank you for being with us. Dr. Parekh, this affects children as well, but it also affects India's healthcare system. And the question that really must be asked is, if these are the numbers that we are looking at, then how does our healthcare system cope with the anticipated increase in obesity-related diseases like diabetes and heart disease? It just seems that we are going to be overwhelmed, just in terms of basic hospital care should it be required, right?
Yeah, Vishnu, the thing is, in our pediatric practice, we are seeing alarmingly increasing rates of overweight and obese children. And that is technically sowing seeds to lifestyle diseases of the future. Diabetes, blood pressure, all these problems are set in the teens and preteen years and entirely set by the kind of food they eat. There are three basic pointers here. High, like Madam said, it's a high intake of carbohydrates, low intake of protein, poor quality fats, and a very low percentage of exercise. Now, screen plays a major role here. Is a fact of convenience and a matter of convenience for every parent who has limited time to have their children finish their food. And the most easiest way to do it is set them up in front of the screen. Now, the fine tuning of every child's brain is it relates food and hunger to screen. So any screen turned on any time stimulates hunger in a child. And the child, while eating, if watching the screen, tends to eat 3 to 4 times more, not knowing. While the mother gets very happy, the parents are happy, my child is eating, it's sowing seeds, it's increasing the number of fat cells, it's giving rise and ups and downs in the insulin train, which is the key importance for diabetes later on in life, and the overall mindset of gratification that only comes with refined foods that give that spike of sugar and the feel-good factor.
Sure.
So it's a multiple play system here, and everybody needs to take this problem head on.
Revant, what role do commercial factors, determinants like the expansion of fast food chains in India play in driving this obesity epidemic? How can regulations curb their influence? Because fast food is just part of our culture now.
Yeah, I think earlier it was fast food. Now it's become instant food. Like we wanted it within like 5 to 10 minutes. Earlier, at least we were going to the fast food restaurant. So I think the 10-minute deliveries, and now they are now even selling food itself. So that's obviously very, very risky because the likelihood of people ordering food, junk food has increased. Post dinner, you're just getting a ice cream or something which you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. I think one more point I would like to add is that we have a healthcare system. We say we have a healthcare system in India, but we actually don't. We have a sick care system. We treat people after they get sick. We have to focus on healthcare, which is education. So we need to get health in the school curriculums. That is the only way the diets will improve, because people are not even aware of what diets they should eat. So first of all, we need education. Introduce health in the school curriculum. That is the biggest regulatory change I would make.
Okay, Dr. Parekh, that's an important point. In terms of targeted interventions, what can India implement within, let's say, the next 5 years to reverse this obesity trend? He spoke about schools. That's really important. Is there a big change now between rural areas and urban areas and income? Is that directly linked to a rise in obesity?
So, a very good two-tier research shows done between 21 and 23, where, plenty of kids were assessed for overweight. And in the socio-economic analysis, it was studied that children going to private schools have a much higher chance of obesity than kids going to government schools. Now, I believe it just directly correlates to the spending capacity of the parent to give that child that instant food, like my friend mentioned here, to give them whatever they need. It's leading to the dearth of time. So primarily to correct the lifestyle of the child, the parent needs to take sole responsibility of making sure that the food going into the child's mouth is of good quality and doesn't have any long-term or short-term implications on the health. And number two is the amount of exercise. I fail to understand that parents forget to see that when they're signing up their children for multiple classes through the week, it is not important how many classes they go to, how many sports they play, how much time they spend, but it's the quality of exercise done. which many a times I see that the parents do send their children, but in 60% of the time, the child is just sitting there and not doing what is required. So like going back to grassroots school levels where they need to make the parent and the child understand age appropriately of what true exercise means.
Sure. Well, I'd like to thank both of you very much for being with us. It is absolutely something that we need to be talking about on a constant basis. But I'm going to end this bulletin on a happy note. India has made it to the Champions Trophy final. That's great news. Virat Kohli's great Hardik Pandya's cameo have taken India past Australia in this do-or-die match. Virat Kohli scored an unbeaten 84. He scored with an 84-run knock as India defeated Australia by 4 wickets. India were chasing 265 but ended up winning with 4 wickets. So this is a great moment for Indian cricket in the Champions Trophy against our arch rivals. We've got a couple of images there on our screen. I usually have a lot more to say when it comes to cricket, but I was over here talking about a whole lot of other things, so I wasn't able to follow the end of the match. But Virat Kohli's 84 once again indicates his premier status as a batsman in at least one-day cricket. We'll leave it there. It's time for a break. You've been watching Left, Right and Centre.
Finisher windows, beautiful and durable designs. इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनिस्टर नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Finer Finesta.
Very, very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit Conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
American president talks about making America great again, and when Prime Minister Modi talks about Viksit Bharat, in a way is talking about making India great again.
India needs to diversify its sources of capital.
Deployment of the grassroots level will be done by manufacturing.
You can't truly become a developed nation unless we take every segment of the society in our economic development journey. This is also another element of blueprint for Viksit Bharat.
The NDTV Profit Conclave 2025, the blueprint for Viksit Bharat, only on the NDTV network.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Ladies and gentlemen, NDTV's prestigious Auto Awards 2025, they're here.
Congratulations to those who are being honored, recognized.
Vikram Pava, Rahul Bharti, Maruti Suzuki, the Global Lifetime Achievement Award to Sri Ratan Tata.
Motorcycle of the Year.
Compact Car of the Year.
Very, very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit Conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
American president talks about making America great again, and when Prime Minister Modi talks about Viksit Bharat, in a way is talking about making India great again.
India needs to diversify its sources of capital.
Deployment of the grassroots level will be done by manufacturing.
You can't truly become a developed nation unless we take every segment of the society in our economic development journey. This is also another element of blueprint for Viksit Bharat.
The NDTV Profit Conclave 2025, the blueprint for Viksit Bharat, only on the NDTV network.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World.
India marches into the final of Champions Trophy. Virat Kohli sets up a 4-wicket win in the semi-final. India beats arch nemesis Australia.
Australia game is always a contest. Doesn't matter who's in the side.
In the Augusta Westland scam, Delhi High Court grants bail to a middleman. Christian Michael gets bail in money laundering case. It's Nitish versus Tejaswi in Bihar Assembly. Tejaswi says Nitish is exhausted. People are suffering. Nitish Kumar in fact says, "What have you done? I made your father." The Foreign Secretary is going to Moscow on Friday. His trip comes amid shifting US, Ukraine, Russia dynamics. US holds aid to Ukraine while Misri goes to Moscow. Amid delimitation row, Tamil Nadu all-party meeting tomorrow. Tamil Nadu BJP boycotts the all-party meet. The BJP chief says the CM must rise above petty politics. Volodymyr Zelensky regrets the Oval Office spat. He's ready to work fast to end the war. Zelensky says that I'm ready to negotiate the peace deal as soon as possible. He proposes phased truce. Donald Trump triggers a trade war with tariffs. China and Canada retaliate against Trump's tariffs. Mexico to impose retaliatory tariffs on US goods. The 2 weekly. Hello and welcome to News at 10. I'm your host Rika Roy. Now there were 469 days of wait between 19th November 2023 and 4th March 2025. All of India waited with bated breath, but the moment is here now. India knocked Australia, their arch nemesis, out of the ICC Champions Trophy and marched into the final. This 4-wicket win completes the revenge.
And the dressing room will be delighted because an India-Australia game is always a contest. Doesn't matter who's in the side. Kohli, the top scorer in that innings. They've had many close contests in the past. But India.
Australia may have started as the underdogs in the game, but Travis Head took brief advantage of early reprieve.
A lot of time to play that shot. The timing is excellent.
However, Varun Chakravarthy, the hero of the last game, removed him. Head aiming to loft Chakravarthy was gone. Labuschagne and Smith then dropped anchor. They had a 56-run stand, but Jadeja struck twice, removing Labuschagne and English. After being dropped by Mohammed Shami, Steve Smith motored on, keeping his average in ICC knockouts intact.
For 6.
Alex Carey was playing a delightful innings.
There's no one there.
Australia was pulled back once again. Smith was gone after scoring 73. Carey played beautifully for his 57 ball 61, but the spinners once again had an impact on the game. This was Varun Chakravarthy's second wicket of the match. Australia lost 4 wickets in 6 overs. Their innings was wrapped up on 264. Chasing 265, India lost Shubman Gill early. Captain Rohit Sharma gave India a start but failed to convert into a big score. It was all about controlling the middle overs and Kohli had begun to do it. India and Australia were at par at the end of 16 overs. Virat Kohli scored a half-century in 53 balls and kept India in the hunt. Wickets fell at the other end. Australia kept making comebacks, but Virat Kohli and KL Rahul controlled the middle overs. But the chase master was gone for 84. India needed 40 runs to finish the game.
And right in front of the side.
Despite Australia trying to keep India on a tight leash, Pandya cut loose. And again against Zampa, getting India close.
6 ball, this is even bigger.
It was Pandya power in full show in Dubai as India needed just 12 runs.
Down the track.
KL Rahul sealed it with a 6. India marched into the Champions Trophy final.
Went by 4 wickets. And they're into the final of the Champions Trophy. And the first team to do so. And this is the highest successful chase.
It has been the highest successful chase in the Dubai International Stadium, and this win has sparked celebrations across the country. Let me take you to some of the pockets in the country late in the evening today that is busy celebrating the win. My colleague Shreya Ghosh joins me from the capital. Shreya, do get us some reactions from the fans.
Well, of course, Rika, it's a day to celebrate as India has entered the Championship Trophy 2025 after the 4-wicket win over Australia. And I'm joined by the coolest mother-daughter duo who has been here cheering on for Team India. How does it feel, you know, to be here with a mother and see India win?
I think it's more awesome that my mom is here, and this is the first time she's come out to see the match actually. So the feeling is like overwhelming and very nice.
How does it feel, Auntie? Who has been your favorite? Is it Kohli?
Kohli. Definitely. Definitely.
Did you enjoy watching the match?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Of course. Of course. It was fun.
It was fun. Absolutely. It was fun. And we are joined by more such fans here. We'll try and get talking to them. Sir, tell me, how did it feel? You know, this has been an explosive match, you know. Australia always had this aura of invincibility, but Kohli kind of proved them wrong.
So we were scared with the last match result that we're going to play against Australia. But it's no surprise for us. The legendary dear friend of ours, Baba Sethi, had already predicted this. And we knew out and out what's going to happen. And he's already telling us that we're going to win on Sunday against South Africa. So stay tuned for Pebble Street on Sunday. We will find you here. You will find all of us here and Baba Sethi here. And we're going to win, yeah?
Who do you think has been the showstopper of this match? You can name one batsman and one bowler.
Baba Sethi is the all-rounder for us. I'm sorry, no, but I think Kohli. I mean...
Bowler.
I didn't see our bowling.
Vikram Chakravarthy.
I didn't see the first innings, so I just came for this. So I don't know, but I know that we did a good job. But all is in Baba Sethi's hands, so I hope he does the right prediction.
Okay, in Team Australia, we know Travis Head has been a complete nightmare for Team India. But this time around, we saw Vikram Chakravarthy kind of, defeating him because of the catch that Shubman Gill took. How does it feel?
Feels amazing, yeah. I mean, we got a great win. It was a great day for Indian cricket, and hope to see the best South Africa or New Zealand in the finals, yeah.
What do you think was the highlight of this match?
The 40-year Champions Trophy is not happening in Pakistan.
The highlight was that...
happening in Dubai.
So there are two highlights. Number one, that after so many years, an ICC event after 29 years was hosted by Pakistan. And unfortunately, the final won't be in Pakistan. It will be in Dubai. And the big highlight was this was all predicted from day one by our dear friend and legend, Mr. Baba Sethi. He must be around somewhere. He's predicting the final scores also. So,
do you think the Dubai pitch was just perfect for Team India, or do you think it posed a bit of a challenge?
I think playing so much of IPL and playing so many tournaments across the globe, it gives us a great platform to be,
Getting us all
not
those
even
fan
Dubai pitch is a
reactions.
slow pitch.
Shreya, thank you very much for getting us all those fan reactions from Pebble Street. I think you are at a pub in the national capital. Let me also go over to Tanushri in Indore. Tanushri, I believe you are also with a bunch of fans. Do tell us what you're picking up at this moment.
Yeah, currently I'm present at Indore Rajwada Chowk, and here every single Indian fan came here after the Australia match. As for the record, Australia has always been dominant over India, but this time India has not broken its record of winning its every single match in this tournament. Now I will be talking to some fans. मदर डॉटर वो ऑल्सो प्रेजेंट है फ्रॉम इंदौर. आई विल टॉकिंग टू देम. मैम बात करें इस बार के मैच की, तो कैसा ऐतिहासिक मैच लगा आपको इस बार? तो मैम बहुत अच्छा ऐतिहासिक, इतना बढ़िया, इतना पावरफुल मैच रहा. सारे अपने खिलाड़ी है जो मतलब केवल विराट कोहली ही नहीं, केएल भी है और सो भी हार्दिक पांड्या वगैरह सारे मतलब पूरी टीम बेस्ट टीम है, मजबूत टीम होगी. और है ना, जरूरी नहीं था कि फाइनल जीता पर सेमीफाइनल जीतना बहुत जरूरी था. और ऑस्ट्रेलिया को हराना काफी ज्यादा जरूरी था, क्योंकि वो एक समय ऐसा था कि उन्होंने अपनी ट्रॉफी जीतने के बाद पैरों में रखी थी. ये उसी चीज में घटना निकाला गया. तो वी हैव आल्सो अ स्मॉल जूनियर क्रिकेट विद अस. कौन है आपका फेवरेट? मेरा फेवरेट विराट कोहली है. क्यों विराट कोहली आपका फेवरेट है? क्योंकि इस बार का इस मैच में परफॉर्मेंस कैसा रहा? एक नंबर. बात करें फाइनल्स की, तो फाइनल्स के लिए क्या उम्मीद है आपकी इंडिया को लेकर? Obviously, India जीतेगी. Yeah. Everyone here are having a hope for India winning this trophy and bringing the trophy back home. And everyone is very happy. As you can see in videos also right now, I'm present at Indore's Rajwada Chowk. Every single person have been gathered over here for past 1 hour. Every single person was wishing for the win of India. And as soon as the results came out, the flags were there in the air. Also, the firecrackers were burning. Also, you can hear the voice. Still, people are burning firecrackers. They are enjoying the win, and they have gathered at a lot of number. People have been gathered here. Also, as you can see, people are celebrating the win for India. Every single person is talking
country. These are the reactions we are getting you from our reporters from different corners, from Delhi to Indore to different other parts of the country. It may be late tonight, but the fans of Team India are nevertheless celebrating. Those are the pictures on your screen. So how did the win come, and what was really the turning point in the match? Let's go over to our experts on the show at this hour. Gautam Bhattacharya, senior sports journalist; Rishi Chabra, cricket blogger and cricket fan as well. Gautam, tell us that one turning point you thought that worked in favor of India.
Yeah, I mean, it has got to be Steve Smith's, that there was that stroke of luck that Smith enjoyed when Axar was bowling. From it got an inside edge, rolled over to hit the stumps, the bails didn't come off. So Smith continued going. But I felt that if that was a kind of turning point for him to give him the leads, they should have also, they fell around 25 to 30 runs short in the game. And that made a kind of difference in a close match.
Rishi, what to you was the turning point?
I mean, for me, Rika, it had to be Travis Head's wicket. Because, the kind of start, the scratchy start that Travis had in the first few overs. And then all of a sudden, that inning, that over of 14 runs where he hit Mohammed Shami for 3 boundaries. And then, the luck, that inside edge, the missed run out for Travis Head. I think his wicket was very crucial because the kind of momentum that he was setting up, I think Australia could have easily taken the game away. And then, yes, Steve Smith's wicket as well, that the ball rolled onto the bails, but the bails never fell. So I think these two small turning points were very crucial for, especially Travis Head's wicket in India's bowling favor, that went India's favor.
Well, for me, the turning point really of the match was that dropped catch of Virat Kohli by Glenn Maxwell. And Virat Kohli went on to set up the innings, to set up the win for India. Let's listen into what the chase master had to say after India's semi-final win.
Well, I think my timing, the composure at the crease, I wasn't feeling desperate. I was pretty happy knocking ones around. And when, as a batsman, you start taking pride in hitting those singles into the gaps, it's very important to control your impulses while the game is going on. For me, it's what's important is to know the number of overs and the number of runs left. Even if the gap's 25-30 and it comes to 6 and over, I'm not bothered as long as we have 7 or 6 wickets in hand, because then you know 2 set batters and we can turn the game around, and the opposition can only come into the game with wickets. So that was the plan out there.
Gautam, would you say it's the nature of the run chase that India is displaying that makes them a true champion team? The way they have controlled the middle overs in this edition of the Champions Trophy is what has set them apart?
Yes, Rika, very much so. I mean, I was looking at it, and you see there were 3 key partnerships, and one was 90-odd, the biggest one between Virat and Sreshar. Then Axar once again, carried on with the good work. He got some 42 in quick time, more than run a ball. And then finally, after Virat had gone, he didn't really leave it late. I mean, it was the wicket was not that it was maybe slightly easier to bat on than the previous 3 games, but was still gripping a bit. So he tried for that lofted shot over mid wicket, which didn't work. But then again, KL Rahul showed that he can shift gears if he wants to, and of course Pandya finished it with a flourish. So 3 key partnerships, made that 265, not much sweat in the end, but it was a tricky chase. I mean, if we all add up to the context of the game, the kind of close finishes which we have had and finished on the wrong side against Australia, so that was the key.
Rishi, would you say that century number 52 was for taking for Virat Kohli had he not played a rash shot? And it was unusual, really unusual for Virat Kohli to have played a rash shot like that at that stage?
I mean, absolutely. If you look, if you listen to his post-match comments, he clearly says that, he wanted to rotate the strike and take a few singles. And coming from Virat, we've never seen, him going for the big shots. It's very rare that you see him going for the sixes. But again, he's trying to score quick runs for the team, and it's just a matter of fact, that ball, the bat turned in his hands, and the ball didn't come off well. But again, brilliant knock by Virat, leading from the front, and I think it needed someone like him to put up that big score on board, to make sure that India gets past Australia in a tricky situation.
Gautam, when you look at Virat Kohli's career, the phases, would you say this phase is as good as it was previously?
Well, it all depends on the conditions that he's kind of batting. But whenever it comes to the white ball game, I mean, there is no doubting of his abilities. I mean, when he was being ripped apart following the Australia tour and the problems outside the off stump in red ball cricket. Just before that, he has had scores. I mean, we don't have to go far. It's just about the T20 World Cup final. So there have been plenty of knocks like this. So his white ball form hasn't really deserted him that much. It was in the other format that he was having problems. But here, the wickets suited his style, and the kind of, that Pakistan innings and this. Of course, this one we will rate higher. And again, it's a show that he's getting his act together.
Right, this one definitely will be rated higher because it was against an opposition like Australia, and it was a tough opposition. India was also chasing the highest score set on this track in this edition of the Champions Trophy. But what we can tell our viewers at this hour also is that Virat Kohli, for his 84 runs, has been adjudged the player of this match, the player of the match. Apart from scoring those 84 runs, Rishi, and I take this question to you, he also held 2 catches, and it is a unique record now Virat Kohli has bagged as well. He's the second highest, he's the second in the second position in the list of the number of catches that have been taken in ODI cricket. Tell us a little bit about you know, the fielding prowess that Virat Kohli has displayed year on year, and it seems that with every passing season he gets fitter.
Absolutely, and you know, something that has to do with his fielding is his fitness. Because the moment, you know, we've seen Virat Kohli say this often, that the number of hours that you put into your fitness, it is actually, you know, proportionate, because then you cover those few seconds very easily. And we've always seen, you know, in the outfield, there are players who are not able to get to the ball as quick as Virat Kohli is. And again, you know, the fitness is paramount, and the kind of fitness that he's put in, the kind of hard work that he's put in is showing on the field as well. And the same goes, you know, for a player like Ravindra, Jadeja, who've always been very conscious of their fitness, and it just shows on the field as well. And that's the reason, you know, why he's been able to play cricket for so long, given the number of games that we have now with the IPL and all other, you know, trophies happening. So, you know, I just feel, you know, blessed that we have someone like Virat Kohli in the outfield that we can trust. Okay, if there's a ball going towards him, we will hold on to those catches and run outs.
Well, in the process, Virat Kohli also got past 8,000 runs in ODI chases. Gautam, let me take the last question to you, and it's about really KL Rahul and Hardik Pandya. The role that they played in sealing the match today. They were right at the rear end. When Virat Kohli went, India still needed 40 runs, and it could have been tricky for India. Tell us a little bit about their temperament in holding out the chase against an opposition like Australia.
Yes, I mean, you see, both these players have done it in the past, but then KL Rahul was somebody who got berated quite a bit in that on that fateful World Cup final night. So he, as it is, it had been an unaccustomed position for him at 6. He had been carrying through, doing the last sides, a couple of tricky changes. I remember the one in Bangladesh, against Bangladesh. Here, where he showed that, you know, oh, well, if this is the way number 6 batter has to bat, I'm perfectly capable of doing it. I've done it in IPL, so I have the strokes. And for Hardik, if that 6-hitting ability had deserted him for a bit when he made his comeback, and, you know, often he was not being able to push things along, he you know, underlined his credentials once again, and that was it. And that 44-run partnership, as you said, I mean, things can go wrong. I mean, quick wickets and the pressure could have been back on, because the Australians were as resilient as ever with that inexperienced lineup. The way Smith rotated his bowlers, brought back Adam Zampa, his lead spinner, because he knew he had to buy the wickets. So they always tried to win the game. Very crucial 44-run partnership.
Well, KL Rahul had finished off a chase in the similar manner in the Cricket World Cup in 2023. It was against Australia in Chennai. He hit a very big 6 over the long off against Glenn Maxwell to finish off that chase. Fans will remember that. For now, Team India will have to wait till tomorrow to find out who their opponent is going to be in Sunday's final. It will be New Zealand versus South Africa. That match is going to be played in Lahore. Pakistan, the hosts of Champions Trophy, for the first time, the host will not host the final because India hasn't travelled to Pakistan. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on the show this evening in the moment of celebration as India marches into the Champions Trophy final.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Ladies and gentlemen, NDTV's prestigious Auto Awards 2025. Here.
Congratulations to those who are being honored, recognized.
Vikram Pawar. Rahul Bharti Maruti Suzuki, the Global Lifetime Achievement Award to Sri Ratan Tata.
Motorcycle of the Year.
Compact Car of the Year.
Very, very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit Conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
American president talks about making America great again, and when Prime Minister Modi talks about Viksit Bharat, in a way is talking about making India great again.
India needs to diversify its sources of capital.
Deployment of the grassroots level will be done by manufacturing.
You can't truly become a developed nation unless we take every segment of the society in our economic development journey. This is also another element of blueprint for Viksit Bharat.
The NDTV Profit Conclave 2025, the blueprint for Viksit Bharat, only on the NDTV network.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Ladies and gentlemen, NDTV's prestigious Auto Awards 2025. They're here.
Congratulations to those who are being honored, recognized.
Vikram Pava, Rahul Bharti Maruti Suzuki, the Global Lifetime Achievement Award to Sri Ratan Tata.
Motorcycle of the Year.
Compact Car of the Year.
Very, very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit Conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
American president talks about making America great again, and when Prime Minister Modi talks about Viksit Bharat, in a way is talking about making India great again.
India needs to diversify its sources of capital.
Deployment of the grassroots level will be done by manufacturing.
You can't truly become a developed nation unless we take every segment of the society in our economic development journey. This is also another element of blueprint for Viksit Bharat.
The NDTV Profit Conclave 2025, the blueprint for Viksit Bharat, only on the NDTV network.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home.
Welcome back. The Delhi High Court has granted bail to British arms consultant Christian James Michael in the FIR registered by ED in connection with the Augusta Westland chopper scam. Justice Swarnakanta Sharma allowed Michael's bail application in the money laundering case. Remember, on the 18th of February, Supreme Court had granted bail to Michael in the case registered by CBI related to the alleged scam. My colleague Nupur Dogra joins us with more details on this. Nupur, tell us what is the latest update on this case?
Well, today, in fact, the Delhi High Court has now granted Christian Michels this
particular bail after noting that he has already spent a considerable time in jail and the trial has not even started. And Supreme Court, in fact,